Let's see if I even upload this video. Okay? Hey guys, it's your girl Cameron and I'm back at it again with yet another video. So I would love to talk to you guys today about interracial dating mixed with media, social media. And it's interesting because the inspiration behind this video really from Twitter. I am not somebody, like, interracial relationships to me is not a big deal. Like, I think people should date whoever the hell that they want to, and that's like pretty much my conclusion to this video. But on social media, I've seen a lot of posts. I feel like I've been seeing more interracial couples these days, but it's funny because a lot of the comments is what sparks a lot of discussion and debate for some reason. So I wanted to talk about this today. We all know interracial dating has been happening since the beginning of mother effing time. Interracial dating does not just constitute black and white. There's all types of interracial couples. Today, my focus is mainly going to be on black-white couples. I'm black, so I feel like I can speak from an experience that, like, a perspective from a black person. I don't want to speak for anybody else. Please comment down below. What do you think? Please be very respectful about this topic. And don't disrespect anybody, please. If you have an opinion, be respectful about it. And please hit that subscribe button down below. I appreciate you all so much for watching. And without further ado, let's just get straight into the conversation. Let's go. I'm always on Twitter. Who's not always on Twitter? Because I am. And it's so funny because I kept saying to myself, I'm probably not going to film this. There's no need to film this video. Who gives a crap? But every time I go on my timeline, I see like another interracial couple, particularly a white man with a black woman, which is interesting because normally, at least for black people, if we do see interracial dating within our race, it's mostly with the men. I just see on a mainstream level. I have never dated, I've never been in a relationship interracially. My ex was mixed. He was half black, half white. So I don't really know what you would consider that. But I have like dated black guys, white guys, different races, period. Like, I'm somebody who is for interracial dating 100%. I see nothing wrong with it. But we'll get into some things that I want to talk about where I do think it goes a little weird from like the black perspective. But lately I have been seeing a lot more black women dating white men. And it's interesting because it has sparked up some conversations on social media. We'll start here. So typically with black people, you have your black men, black women. Of course, we date each other. But sometimes there's been this tension between like interracial dating within black culture, and there's other cultures I know that are very specific about, okay, dating inside your race, whatever. So typically what you see with black men, this is not all black men. I just want to say this. I'm going to keep saying this because somebody's going to be in the comments like, not all, not all. I am saying that right now. Nothing that I have to say is a generalization to anybody, okay, period. Because there are black men who do date black women. But what we see on a lot of mainstream, or what's pushed, is that black men, when they date interracially, they date white women, they date outside of their race, and you typically see that combination. You don't always see it the other way around with a black woman and a white man. So as a black woman or a black girl, you kind of grew up, like, I knew black guys who were like, oh,
I only want to date white girls, I only like white girls, I don't like black girls,
whatever. And that was very common, especially in high school. I think a lot of it is ignorance. I think a lot of it is conditioning a little bit. But I saw that more so with black guys. Like, this is experience. I've heard this out of people's own mouths. So don't sit here and try to say that I'm making shit up, because I'm not. But that was typically what you saw. I went to like a predominantly white high school. But it was mixed, so there was a lot of intermingling, a lot of like interracial dating. But anytime I really saw it, it was with a black guy and a white girl. So there's always been like this narrative and this turmoil between black men and women, because a lot of black women, not a lot, some black women feel that black men like to date outside their race. And when they do, it seems like they're talking down on black women. That's not the case for every black guy who dates out of their race, but this is true for some. Now, what's interesting though is that now I think that I feel like I'm screaming, see more mingling of the black woman with other men. Like, and it's interesting because to see how black men feel about it, right? This first tweet says, Travis Kelce is a GOAT for this alone. So Travis Kelce, is a football player who, I don't pay attention to football, okay? But Travis Kelce is dating a black girl. So this is not really common, because a lot of the times we see, if a football player is dating interracially, it's typically you see like a black male with a white woman or a Latino woman or a woman who might not be black. There are black football players who do date black women, of course, but I'm just saying if you see the interracial couple, it's typically that mix. Now, Travis Kelce is a white guy, and mind you, I think Travis Kelce is fine. And I've been saying this before I knew he liked black girls. I don't care about all that. But I always thought that man was fine. And I think that when I found out he was dating her, not gonna lie, I was like, okay, Travis, like, and she's gorgeous. He had a show called Catching Kelce, where he was on a dating show, and that's where I found out about him. I always had a little crush on him. And he seemed to like be into all types of women, but the girl that he actually chose on the show was a black girl. Yeah, they broke up and he's with her now and he's really happy, and another black girl. So somebody said Travis Kelce is a GOAT for this alone. So yeah, I didn't really see anything wrong with the tweet, but then I started to look into the comments, and so somebody said, but if this was a black man and a white woman, y'all so backwards. So then I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, I didn't even think about like the comments and things like that. Now, I've always been a person with interracial dating. I really do not care.
Don't care. Don't care. Still don't care. What did you say? I don't care.
Even when black men date white women, I don't care. Like, I don't. The only thing that I do care about is, or somebody who is down talking, downplaying black women or disrespecting black women in spite of that, or saying, I don't like black girls, I don't like this, because there are some who are very vocal about that. But again, not all black men who date outside their race dislike black women, okay? They just like beautiful women. It doesn't matter. I'm the type of person, I don't care what race you are. If you're fine, you're fine. If you're a good person, you're a good person. There might be some cultural differences, which we'll get into that later, but that's just how I feel about it. Whoever was making this tweet, this has 103.8K likes. So people clearly are resonating with this tweet and agree with it and don't see a problem with it. I personally think the reason why people might have said this, and I personally didn't see anything wrong with it at first, is because you just normally don't see a couple like this. They're a beautiful couple, period. But you typically don't see a white guy with, or a successful white guy, like a football player or something like that, with a black woman, a dark-skinned, brown-skinned black woman. And I think people were saying like, oh, that's cool. Like, that's dope. Like, that's what's up, right? People took this like that, and some people took it like, oh, well, if a black man were to do this, I think it's because we're used to seeing that now. Like, it's almost kind of like when you see like a football player, a basketball player, like a black guy with a black wife, you're almost like, oh, cool, like that. And it shouldn't even be like that, but it just kind of is how it is. So when people see something out of the norm, I think it creates a response like this. So that was the first tweet that I saw that I was like, interesting, because I didn't really see much wrong with the tweet until I started to look at the comments, and I was like, okay, you kind of have a point. But I was like, I think people are just kind of cool about it because it's just not something you always see, and they're a cute couple and cool, right? So now I saw another tweet. So you guys all know about the Megan Thee Stallion and the G-Eazy kiss or whatever. This is where I was just kind of annoyed, okay? I was just irritated. So you know that G-Eazy, whatever, they're cool, they're friends. I really don't think they were dating. They were probably drunk, cute, cool, whatever, right? people were going in on Meg about it. They were like, girl, black guys were coming in her comments like, really, Megan? Really, Megan? Really, really, really? When half of y'all were saying she looked like a man 2 weeks ago. But okay, that's where I already had a problem. Y'all talk all this crap about how women look, whatever, and somebody pops out with a white man and it's like, oh, now you, and they're
like, oh, it's Black History Month, and oh my gosh, I can't believe this is happening.
I'm like, okay, now you guys are making a big deal out of this, okay? And it's interesting because I was like, do you guys kind of know how it feels a little bit? Like, a little bit, just a little bit, because I saw some people who were actually pretty provoked by this whole situation. And again, the kiss was cringy, and to me, I was like, if that's what you're gonna be mad about, fine. But a lot of people were genuinely like upset, or like,
really, Megan, you dating white guys now?
wow, we didn't even know the full story. And then here's in turn, I see black women making comments like this. Now, I agree. If black men were to say something like this, black women would be angry. So this says, the white men lately, I don't know, girl. I feel like, I don't know. I can't explain it. There's flavor there, seasoning. It looked good. I want to taste. So I do see kind of an issue with this tweet. I do think that if a black guy were to say something like this about white women, we've already seen this kind of comment. White women are evolving, yada, yada, yada. It's like, shut up. Like, what the hell? What the hell? Now, this is a comment where I think it's like, alrighty now. And then it almost sounds kind of fetishizing, right? A lot of black women, and I know in my experience, for interracial dating, my one thing that I've always just been kind of weary about is the fetishization. I don't know how to say it, but being fetishized. I've had experiences where maybe like a guy outside of my race, or like a white guy, for example, oh, you're so beautiful, you're this beautiful black queen, yada, yada. Like, it's just kind of weird. It's a little like, why can't I just be pretty for just being like a girl? Why does it have to be for being a black girl? I'm a person. I'm not an alien. I'm not a creature. I'm a person, okay? So I feel like there's a little bit of this, that's hypocritical, in my opinion. I do feel like, okay, you guys are gassing up these two white guys, and they're very fine, okay? They fine. They fine as hell. They about fine as hell, okay? Somebody said, because they're trying to look black. And this connects to another comment that I saw tweet, but a guy that I know made this tweet because there was another black-white interracial couple, a white guy dating a black woman, right? So somebody said a black woman's touch. So I guess in the comments, people were literally saying that he was cultural appropriating because he was wearing chains and some earrings, right? Like a black guy aesthetic. And this kid I know said, y'all so mad over this. Like, I'm trying to see where's the cultural appropriation. Where's the disrespect? A gold chain and some earrings? Come on now. And again, I just kind of feel like if people are really upset about this, like, I'm just like, especially with black men, you guys have been dating whoever you want. And you honestly have that luxury. I mean, are very attractive, very handsome. They've been dating outside their race. And now that a lot of black women or whatever are starting to like branch out and do their own thing, it seems like some people are really bothered by it. Somebody said, y'all would pitch a fit if a black man put a white woman into cosplay like this. This is not cosplay, okay? Like, I'm sick. It's these comments that I'm like, why are you guys picking apart this? Coming from, especially when you've grown up, kind of feeling like even your own men don't really want you. And I know I felt kind of experienced this growing up a little bit, like not being mixed or not being of another race. Sometimes you almost had to wonder, like, even with black guys, like, I wonder if they like black girls. Like, even black guys, with black guys, you had to ask that question sometimes because you couldn't really tell. So I don't know. From experience, I feel like some people have valid reasons, but sometimes I don't think it's the equivalent. Somebody else said, black women are widely considered the lowest or worst option because of our country's history. So when someone doesn't have to and isn't culturally obliged to love us, chooses to, it feels a little different. Is it fair? No, but life rarely is. Thank you. Thank you, 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 thank you. That's kind of what I've been trying to say. Back to that one tweet about saying like Travis Kelce and that other guy is trying to look black, whatever, whatever, whatever. I don't know about all that. But actually, Kayla Nicole, who is the girl he's dating, made a comment saying that there will be black women in her comments, in her DMs, talking about,
so how do I get me a white man? How did you get one? Girl, tell me how to get a white man, how to do this.
And she literally was like, dude, like, no, like, I'm dating him because I love him, and we, like, it's not a secret. I didn't try to work voodoo. I didn't try to cop me a white guy. Like, it just so happened to be that way. And that's where I do think the problem is, that I think some people are trying to express about that. Men are men, guys. I don't know, for some women who are thinking dating interracially is just like the way out. Like, oh, let me get me a white man. Guys are guys, period. Okay? Men are men. Men are gonna be men. So it doesn't really matter what race they are. Like, it doesn't. So for people, though, who are like freaking out over trying to date a white guy, slow your roll. It's not that serious. But for people who are like now being outraged or fake outraged at black women for dating white men, when some of those people weren't even or aren't really checking for black women like that, or especially not darker skinned black women, sit the F down. A big example of this was Serena Williams. Serena Williams married a white man, and people had a lot to say about that. Y'all would be the same people who didn't want to date her, or would be talking about her physical features, like saying she looks like a man, she looks manly. So then when she finally finds someone she's compatible with, which I doubt she dated him just because he's a white man, she finds someone she's compatible with, who loves her, who treats her with respect, then there's not all black men, but there's black men in the comments talking about some,
Oh, why did she end up with a white guy? Why did she do this? Why did she do that?
like, why can't she just be happy? And then, yeah, you have black girls in the comments like, okay, you go, girl, because they're happy to see her with somebody who loves her and who respects her and happens to be outside of her race. It's like, okay, I see you. That's it. That's all that is. And then there's the type of unprovoked things that I've been seeing. So you guys, I don't know if you watch Love is Blind, but I started watching it the other night, but I kept seeing this couple online, right? And this just, I guess they ended up getting engaged and they ended up getting married or are getting married, whatever. And it says, we have no choice but to stand. Here's a comment. This post was unprovoked. It has nothing to do with race. Nobody mentioned her being a black woman and a white guy. Somebody said, I'm sorry, but to all my black women who agrees with this, y'all are canceled. Wish you the best. It's like, why does everything have to be like this debate? Why can't they just, it's always something, you know? But black guys have been dating outside of their race forever. And if black women said anything about it, I've never been one to really like harbor that much on it. But if there were black women who said things about it, oh, we're angry, we're mad, you're just mad because you're ugly, you're just ugly, you're this, you're that, like nobody wants you. That's what we got. That's the energy we got from some of y'all. But like I said, like, this is an unprovoked. He said to anybody who agrees with this. Nobody, like, this tweet, nobody made an ignorant comment about, like, oh, look at this white man and this black woman. Oh my gosh, nobody said that. But if you would watch the show, they really do have a beautiful connection, like, period. She never saw herself dating a white man, but she connected with him, period. That's why I am in support of dating who you want, because people are people at the end of the day. There's other factors that go into it, such as cultural differences and things that might get into the way, which I know they stumble upon. But inherently wanting to date somebody out of your race, I don't want to say wanting, but inherently dating someone outside of your race is not a bad thing at all. People are people. If you connect with somebody, this is one more that I recently just came across the other day. Black couple. A white guy with a black girl. Beautiful couple. She's gorgeous. He's cute. You know, whatever. I see people talking about the ancestors are boiling right now. Come on, it's still Black History Month. Insecure broad, clearly an immigrant. I'm not gonna lie to you, when I see a black woman with white dudes, she loses value. I'm just like, what? This was another tweet where it's not like they were trying to prove a point. They weren't trying to say anything about, oh, get you a white man. Like this, they're literally just a couple. And that's kind of what I have to say. I think black women as well have gotten kind of used to like seeing some black men with women outside of their race. And I know I don't really care. And when I was younger, it used to kind of bother me. You could be gorgeous, but oh, you're black, I don't want to date you. And this is coming from people in your own race. You see what I'm saying? But the older I got, the more I realized I don't want to be with anybody who feels that way. And with my own experience, I would say that yes, I think it's valid to have like cultural concerns about maybe dating interracially. I don't think that's everything, but for some people, their culture is very important. So if you guys feel like you can't relate on a certain level and that's a big deal for you, and that's why you prefer to date inside your race, I think that's valid. But when I think it comes to just like fetishizing reasons, I see black women kind of doing this with white men. I think it's kind of weird. I see black men doing it often and have been doing this with women outside of the race. It's weird. I see sometimes white women doing this with black men. I think it's weird. Fetishizing is just weird, period. But to me, I feel like if you love somebody and you can get past any cultural differences and you guys both respect each other and you love each other and they treat you right, like I support it. I don't even think I have like a preference. I think personally, like dating a black guy, I mean, that's kind of what I know. And cultural differences, sure. And that's something you cross that bridge when you get there, but I would never cast out an entire race. But don't feel bad for dating outside your race and finding someone who loves you. That goes for black women especially. That goes for black men. Do you live your life? Who cares? They're not in your relationship. It's kind of, I don't know if it comes off random or like it's not a big deal, but they do say rates of interracial dating are rising. It says that, this is from the Huffington Post talking about multiracial, biracial, but not only is the multiracial population in the US nearing double digits, according to Pew's survey, it is also growing 3 times faster than the rest of the country's population. If anything, this study, I mean, it shows you that people are starting to mingle more. People are starting to intermingle. And I think that's honestly a great thing. I think sometimes some people feel like it's an attack on like the race, and there's some people who are very adamant about dating inside of their race. Date who you want to date. Live your life how you want to live it. And if people have issues or want to take your black card revoked, you know who you are at the end of the day. Especially being black, you do feel like that is a part of your identity and how you identify yourself. But that is not your whole being. You are a person at the end of the day. You deserve love. Now, if somebody's values just don't align or they're racist or some shit, then no. No. At the same time, you can still be a champion for yourself and still date someone who doesn't look like you and still love yourself and still love your people and be proud of who you are. So get that out of your head if you think that it's going to make you less black or whatever, or what the hell. I don't even know what people are saying. But that's my 2 cents on the issue, the topic. It's not an issue. It's just a topic. Some people are making it an issue. I don't think it is. I want to do more analysis, more topic discussions, more commentary. So comment down below any topics you want me to talk about. Everybody, please register to vote. And because in order to beat Donald Trump, we need the greatest voter turnout ever, especially my young people. So definitely register to vote. I will be voting in my first presidential election. So vote. I'm going to keep saying this. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.